Hello everyone, welcome to MCQ practice series on polity. In this series, we take a particular topic and discuss 5 MCQs related to it. Today's topic is Constituent Assembly and we have already discussed historical underpinnings in the previous video. So do give it a watch. Now coming to today's topic, which is Constituent Assembly, what you need to do is I'll show you question. You need to pause your screen, lock your answers and wait for me to give you an explanation and the right answer. So let's begin. Hello everyone, my name is Monica and this is UPSC Warriors by Unacademy. Question number 1 on the screen. Who was the first chairman of the Constituent Assembly of India? And the 4 options are Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sachidanand Sinha and Jawaharlal Nehru. Now the question is asking for first chairman of the Constituent Assembly. It's not specifically mentioning whether the chairman is temporary or permanent. So in this case, we'll go for the first chairman chronologically or year-wise. The correct answer is Sachidanand Sinha because he was the first temporary chairman of the Constituent Assembly. The first permanent chairman was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. But in this case, the correct answer is C. Sachidanand Sinha. A similar question was asked in UPSC this year also. So let's give it a go. Who was the provisional president of the Constituent Assembly before Dr. Rajendra Prasad took over? This was question of year 2024. That means this year's question. Provisional president means temporary one. Who was the president? The correct answer is Sachidanand Sinha. So in this way, you can solve previous year questions also. So we have solved both of the questions. Now moving forward, I have an announcement. The announcement is related to a scholarship test which Unacademy is conducting on 10th of November. It is the biggest scholarship test, biggest in the sense of the prizes which you can win. The prize pool consists of 50 crores. So what you need to do is you need to give the test on 10th of November. You can give this test in 2 shifts. The first one is 11 a.m. and the second one is 5 p.m. You can pick either of the time slots and you need to go for this test. Now, what prizes you can win? You can win a trip. You can win a trip for your family as well, a staycation. You can win laptops, tablets, smartphones and whatnot. So, do give this a test a try. The date is 10th of November. Now, coming back to our question. This is our question number 2. I'm not considering the previous questions as different questions. They both were on the same topic or the same statement or the same information. So that is why this is question number 2. Now, which of the following statements about the Constituent Assembly of India is incorrect? Identify the keyword. First of all, the question is asking you to identify the incorrect statement. The first statement is the strength of the Constituent Assembly was reduced later. The time period is not specified in this. The time period is not specified in this. It is just mentioning that it was reduced later. B is the Constituent Assembly is the first parliament of free India. C is the Constituent Assembly discarded the membership to Commonwealth. And D is the Constituent Assembly adopted national flag, national anthem and national song. So out of these 4 statements, which of the following is incorrect? You need to identify the incorrect statement. Pause the screen because I'm going to tell the answer now. The answer is C because the Constituent Assembly didn't discarded but ratified the membership of Commonwealth. India continued to be a part of Commonwealth after Constituent Assembly ratified it. So C is the right answer in this case and it is the incorrect information. Now, discussing the options one by one. A, the strength of the Constituent Assembly was reduced later. This is correct because after partition, the Constituent Assembly was formed in November 1946 and after partition, the Constituent Assembly's strength was reduced to 299. So this is correct. Next is the Constituent Assembly is the first Parliament of Free India. This is also correct. This was done by Government of India Act 1947. The Constituent Assembly adopted national flag, national anthem and national song. This is also correct. So the incorrect statement was C. Moving forward, let's go to the next question. Now the next question is, which of the following statements about the Constituent Assembly of India is correct? Now we need to identify the correct statement. The Constituent Assembly was a sovereign body from its inception in 1946. Option B is the Government of India Act 1935 made the Constituent Assembly a sovereign body. The Constituent Assembly was initially not a sovereign body and was made sovereign by the Government of India Act 1947. And the last option is the Constituent Assembly gained sovereignty only after the Constitution was adopted in 1950. Pause your screen now. Now, the answer to this one is, it is asking for the correct statement, and Constituent Assembly was not a sovereign body when it was formed because it was formed under Cabinet Mission Plan. And Cabinet Mission Plan was brought up by British Parliament. So that is why it is not a sovereign body. But it became sovereign body after Government of India Act 1947. So that is why option C is correct, which is the Constituent Assembly was initially not a sovereign body and was made sovereign by the Government of India Act 1947. So hence option C is correct. It was not a sovereign body since its inception because it was in the year November 1946. The Constituent Assembly was formed, and at that time India was not independent. So we don't have sovereignty by then. And the Constituent Assembly was gained sovereignty only after the Constitution was adopted in 1950. That is also not correct because the Constituent Assembly gained sovereignty in 1947 itself. So that is why the correct answer is option C. Moving forward to the next question. Which of the following statements is or are correct regarding the formation of the Constituent Assembly of India? Which of the following statements are correct? Now, let's read the statements one by one. The Constituent Assembly was formed under the recommendations of the Cabinet Mission Plan of 1946. Second statement is members of the Constituent Assembly were directly elected by the people of India. And third statement is the Constituent Assembly included representatives from both British Indian provinces and princely states. Now we need to identify the correct statements. Make sure that you circle the keyword in the question in case it's correct or incorrect. Now out of these three statements, we need to identify the correct statements. The first statement is correct because it is formed under Cabinet Mission Plan 1946. The second statement is incorrect because the Constituent Assembly was not directly elected. It was indirectly elected. It was indirectly elected by Provincial Legislative Assembly. So that is why the second statement is incorrect. The third statement, it included representatives from Indian provinces as well as princely states. That is also correct. So out of these four options, we know that the second one is wrong. So we can eliminate these and the correct answer is B. Hopefully you are keeping the scores of number of questions that you have answered right. The score will be out of 5 only, even though I'll give you 6 questions in this one because the last question you need to answer by yourself and tell me in the comment section. Now, this question number 5, consider the following statements in respect of the Constitution Day. This is also a PYQ. It was asked in the year 2023. Statement 1. The Constitution Day is celebrated on 26 November every year to promote constitutional values among citizens. Statement 2 is, on 26 November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft Constitution of India. Now we need to identify among these 4 options which one defines or suits the question most. Statement 1 is saying about Constitution Day to be celebrated on 26 November every year, which promotes constitutional value. This statement is correct because we celebrate Constitutional Day or Samvidhan Divas on 26 November and the celebration was started from the year 2015. So this is correct. This commemorates the day when Constitution was adopted or accepted by the Constituent Assembly. The Constitution was enacted or adopted by the entire nation on Republic Day, but on Constitution Day, that is 26 November, the Constituent Assembly accepted the Constitution and some part of the Constitution was enacted then and there. For example, the clause on citizenship was enacted on 26 November itself and the rest of the Constitution or the entire Constitution was adopted or enacted by the entire country on Republic Day, that is 26th January. So first statement is correct. Now second statement says that on 26 November 1949, Constituent Assembly of India set up a drafting committee, and it was under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to prepare a draft constitution of India. Now the statement is very easy to eliminate because on 26 November we adopted the constitution. Now if we make a drafting committee on this date, then how is it going to prepare the constitution on the similar day? So that is why it's not correct. This is correct that B.R. Ambedkar was the chairperson of the drafting committee, but it was not formed in this date or year. So hence the correct option would be A is both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is a correct explanation. So statement 2 is incorrect. So this option C is saying that statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. So that is why the correct answer will be C. Now the question which you will be answering in the comment section. Who amongst the following is the chairman of States Committee? What is States Committee? States Committee is a committee for negotiating with states. So out of these 4 options, who is the chairman of the State Committee? You need to answer that. Do let me know in the comment section your answers, and hope you found the session informative. If you struggled with the questions in this session, you can watch my video on Constituent Assembly, which is on this channel itself. I'll give you the link in the description as well. And thank you for watching.